Commander America is a hero showing up in American comic books distributed by Marvel Comics. Made via visual artists Joe Simon and Jack Kirby, the person originally showed up in Captain America Comics #1, cover dated March 1941, from Timely Comics, an ancestor of Marvel Comics. Commander America was planned as an energetic super soldier who frequently battled the Axis powers of World War II and was Timely Comics' most famous person during the wartime time frame. The notoriety of superheroes faded after the conflict, and the Captain America comic book was suspended in 1950, with a fleeting recovery in 1953. Since Marvel Comics resuscitated the person in 1964, Captain America has stayed in distribution. Steve Rogers. Chief America. Chief America blasting through a page of paper. Chief America number 109, January 1969. Cover workmanship by Jack Kirby and Sid Shores. Distribution data. Distributor: Wonder Comics. First appearance: Chief America Comics #1, March 1941. Made by Joe Simon, Jack Kirby. In story data. Adjust self-image. Stephen Grant Rogers. Group affiliations: Justice Fighters, Justice Fighters Unity Division, All Winners Squad, Illuminati, Trespassers, Landau, Luckman, and Lake. New Avengers, Project Rebirth, Saviors, SHIELD, Secret Avengers, Secret Defenders, U.S. Armed Force. Associations: Bucky Barnes, Hawk, Sharon Carter. Outstanding nom de plumes: Migrant, The Captain. Capacities: improved strength, speed, endurance, solidness, nimbleness, reflexes, detects, and mental handling by means of the Superfighter Serum. Ace military craftsman and hand-to-hand warrior. Sped up mending. Eased back maturing. Ace strategist, planner, and field officer. Utilizing vibranium steel compound safeguard. The person wears an outfit bearing an American banner theme, and he uses an almost indestructible safeguard that he tosses as a shot. Commander America is the adjust inner self of Steve Rogers, a fragile youthful craftsman improved to the pinnacle of human flawlessness by a trial super officer serum subsequent to joining the military to help the United States government's endeavors in World War II. Close to the furthest limit of the conflict, he was caught in ice and made do in suspended activity until he was restored in current times. Despite the fact that Captain America regularly battles to keep up with his beliefs as a man out of his time, he stays an exceptionally regarded figure both with the American public and in the superhuman local area, which incorporates turning into the long-lasting head of the Avengers. Chief America was the first Marvel Comics character to show up in quite a while outside funnies with the arrival of the 1944 film sequential, Captain America. From that point forward, the person has been highlighted in different movies and TV series. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, the person is depicted by Chris Evans. Skipper America was positioned 6th on IGN's main 100 comic book heroes of all time in 2011, 2nd in their rundown of the top 50 Avengers in 2012, 2, and 2nd in their best 25 best Marvel superheroes list in 2014. 3. Distribution history. Additional data, list of Captain America titles. Creation. In 1940, author Joe Simon considered the thought for Captain America and made a sketch of the person in costume. 4. I composed the name very American at the lower part of the page, Simon said in his collection of memoirs, and afterward chose. No, it didn't work. There were too much supers around. Commander America had a decent solid to it. There weren't a great deal of chiefs in funnies. That's all there was to it. The kid's sidekick was just named Bucky, after my companion Bucky Pearson, a star on our secondary school b-ball team. 5. Simon reviewed in his personal history that Timely Comics distributor Martin Goodman gave him the approval and coordinated that a Captain America solo comic book series be distributed at the earliest opportunity. Expecting to fill a full comic with basically one person's accounts, Simon didn't really accept that his customary imaginative accomplice, craftsman Jack Kirby, could deal with the responsibility alone. I had very little issues with placing a team on the principal issue. There were two youthful craftsmen from Connecticut that had established a solid connection with me. Al Avison and Al Gabriel frequently cooperated and were very fruitful in adjusting their singular styles to one another. All things considered, their work was not excessively far from that of Kirby's. Assuming they dealt with it, and if one inker integrated the three styles, I accepted the eventual outcome would arise as very uniform. The two ALS were anxious to jump into the new Captain America book, yet Jack Kirby was apparently disturbed. "You're actually number one, Jack," I guaranteed him. "It's simply a question of a fast cut-off time for the principal issue." "I'll make the cut-off time," Jack guaranteed. "I'll pencil it all myself and make the cut-off time." I hadn't normal this sort of response, yet I acquiesced to Kirby's desires and it ended up, was fortunate that I did. There may have been two ALS, yet there was just one Jack Kirby. I composed the principal Captain America book with penciled lettering right on the planning phases, with exceptionally harsh portrayals for figures and foundations. Kirby did his thing, assembling the solid life systems, adding thoughts and springing up the activity as no one but he could. Then, at that point, he straightened out the penciled drawings, adding definite foundations, faces and figures. 5. 1974 Comic Art Convention program including Simon's unique sketch of Captain America. Al Lieberman would ink that first issue, which was lettered by Simon and Kirby's standard letterer, Howard Ferguson. 6. Simon said Captain America was an intentionally political creation. He and Kirby were ethically shocked by the activities of Nazi Germany in the years paving the way to the United States' inclusion in World War II and felt war was inescapable. The rivals to the conflict were all very efficient. We needed to have our say too. 7. Brilliant Age. The first page of the main Captain America comic portrays Captain America punching Adolf Hitler in the jaw. A Nazi warrior's projectile avoids from Captain America's safeguard, while Adolf Hitler falls onto a guide of the United States of America and an archive perusing harm plans for USA. Chief America Comics No. 1, March 1941. Cover workmanship by Joe Simon, inks and pencils, and Jack Kirby, pencils. Chief America Comics No. 1. Cover dated March 1941 8, and at a bargain December 20, 1940, 9/10, per year before the assault on Pearl Harbor. However, an entire year into World War II, showed the hero punching Nazi pioneer Adolf Hitler. It sold almost 1 million copies. 11. While most perusers reacted well to the comic, some took protest. Simon noted, "When the principal issue came out we got a ton of compromising letters and disdain mail. Certain individuals truly went against what Cap stood for." 7. The Dangers, which included threatening gatherings standing around out in the city outside of the workplaces, demonstrated so genuine that police assurance was posted, with New York Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia specifically reaching Simon and Kirby to give his support. 12. However, went before as a devotedly themed hero by MLJ's The Shield, Captain America quickly turned into the most conspicuous and suffering of that rush of superheroes presented in American comic books preceding and during World War II. 13, as confirmed by the strange move at the hour of debuting the person in his own title rather than a Treasury title first. This notoriety drew the consideration and a grievance from MLJ that the person's three-sided safeguard too firmly looked like the chest image of their Shield character. Accordingly, Goodman had Simon and Kirby make an unmistakable round safeguard for issue 2, which proceeded to turn into a famous component of the character. 14, with his companion Bucky, Captain America confronted Nazis, Japanese, and different dangers to wartime America and the Allies. Stanley Lieber, presently otherwise called Stan Lee, in his first expert fiction composing task, added to the person in issue number 3 in the filler message story Chief America Foils the Traitor's Revenge, which presented the person's utilization of his safeguard as a returning tossing weapon. 15. Captain America before long turned into Timely's most famous person and even had a fan club called the Sentinels of Liberty. 7. Dissemination figures stayed near 1 million duplicates each month after the presentation issue, which surpassed even the course of information magazines, for example, Time during the period. 13-16, the person was broadly imitated by different funnies distributors, with around 40 red, white and blue enthusiastic saints appearing in 1941 alone. 17. After the Simon and Kirby group moved to DC Comics in late 1941, having delivered Captain America comics through issue number 10, January 1942, Al Avizan and Sid Shores became ordinary pencilers of the praise title, with one for the most part inking over the other. The person was included in All Winners Comics number 119, Summer 1941, Fall 1946, Marvel Mystery Comics #1980-1984 and number 8692, USA Comics number 617, December 1942, Fall 1945, and All Select Comics number 110, Fall 1943. Summer 1946. In the post-war period, with the ubiquity of superheroes blurring, Captain America drove Timely's first hero group, the All Winners Squad, in its two distributed undertakings, in All Winners Comics number 19 and number 21, Fall-Winter 1946, there was no issue number 20. After Bucky was shot and injured in a 1948 Captain America story, he was prevailed by Captain America's sweetheart, Betsy Ross, who turned into the superheroine Golden Girl. Chief America Comics ran until issue number 73, July 1949, 18, when the series was retitled Captain America's Weird Tales for 2 issues, 19, with the finale being a repulsiveness, anticipation Treasury issue with no superheroes. Chartbook Comics endeavored to restore its